Look at the timeline. Look at the sheer, unadulterated volume of it all. It is not just a day, it is a barrage. A relentless, suffocating wave of posturing, distraction, and moral bankruptcy that washes over us while the markets below do. Well, they move, they swing, they react. But we know why. We know exactly what is driving this chaos because he has laid it all out for us, thread by thread, image by image, in a desperate attempt to normalize the absurd. Let's start with the theater of the obvious. He rallies in Georgia, touting these so-called Trump accounts for children. He's out there holding hands with a toddler. Yes, literally holding the hand of a small child, as he mocks John Ossoff, calling him a Wee Herman look-alike. Look at that image he posted. Eric Trump is even amplifying it, shouting about giving a 16-year-old lifeguard the highest civilian honor while the president on stage is busy turning a political rally into a carnival sideshow. He's using the innocence of children to prop up a financial product he claims has explosive early growth. But what is the substance? There is none. It is just performance. A man who needs to hold a toddler's hand to feel relevant while hurling insults at adults. And then, the rhetoric shifts from mockery to menace. He stands in that same Georgia crowd and declares, with communism everything turns to sigh. He blasts communist Democrats. It is a lazy, tired trope, repeated until it loses all meaning, yet he repeats it with such venom because he needs you to be afraid of shadows. He wants you to look at the timing of these words, shouted while he is supposedly honoring a fallen soldier, Tyler Feehan, whom he flew into the White House for an emotional tribute. The juxtaposition is nauseating. One minute it is grief, the next it is this vitriolic, empty anti-communist screed designed to stir the base, not solve any problem. But let's look closer at the solutions he is peddling alongside the insults. He shares links about a glitch in New Jersey, claiming foreigners are on the voter roll. He amplifies a software vendor disputing that claim, yet he posts it anyway to fan the flames. He shares a map from Mike Lee, a post detailing Elizabeth Warren's logic with grotesque analogies comparing voting rights to poisoning people in civil rights laws. Look at those images he posted. Industrial smokestacks, plastic-filled waters, men in suits around a desk. He is amplifying hate disguised as policy debate. He wants you to believe that the act of voting by non-citizens is an existential threat, when the reality is that enforcement is being weaponized to delegitimize the entire process. And what of the numbers he throws around to impress you? He points to a 10% error rate in Social Security recipients. He touts that the Treasury stopped nearly 100 million from going to dead people. These are his figures, his claims, presented as monumental victories. But look at the context. It is bureaucratic housekeeping dressed up as heroism. And then he pivots to a poll, shared via Daily Mail link he amplified, claiming that fewer than who knows how much of Americans believe Biden won in 2020. He wants you to see that 48% statistic and think the foundation of our democracy is cracking. He wants you to feel the instability. Then, abruptly we are told America is leading in AI. He shares posts from David Sachs and Howard Lutnick about a Kimi panic, claiming US models crush Kimi K3. He amplifies the Department of Commerce's assessment that our frontier AIs are superior. Why now? Because he needs to project strength where there is none, or at least where the competition is fierce. He links articles about Toyota moving to Texas, about tariffs and trade pushes. He wants to paint a picture of an economic juggernaut. But look at the markets. SPY moved, QQQ moved, VIXI swung, DJT fluctuated. The market does not care about his rally in Marietta. It does not care about his golden age of sports boasts from Andrew Giuliani or Lil Wayne's praise for a White House ballroom. The market is volatile, choppy, reacting to the noise. It is all connected. The voting fraud hysteria, the child savings accounts, the AI dominance claims, the mocking of opponents with toddlers, it is a single narrative arc of distraction. He wants you focused on the we, insults and the communist bogeyman so you don't notice that while he is holding a toddler's hand, he is letting the truth rot. He shares posts about Mike Lee's thread on non-citizen voting, amplifying the fear. He shares the poll showing deep partisan divides in how we view the 2020 election. He is curating your reality. And through it all, the markets just move. They swing, they whipsaw, no direction, no size, just pure reaction to this cacophony. He posts about Iran begging for a deal, about Rubio's policy of a head for an eye, and the DJT ticker reacts. He posts about Lindsey Graham's sister being a favorite in a primary, and the financials chug along. It is absurd. It is ridiculous. A man who needs to hold a child's hand to feel powerful, who needs to mock a grown man's height to feel strong, who needs to invent ghosts of communism to justify his existence. Look at the timing, the rally, the tribute, the AI posts, the voting threads, they all hit at once. A coordinated deluge. He wants you exhausted. He wants you confused. He wants you to believe that stopping 100 million from going to dead people is a triumph equal to winning the World Cup, which he claims was just the start of America's golden age. It is all connected. The vanity, the fear, the distraction, and the markets, they just move on, indifferent to the performance, reacting only to the signal beneath the noise. But we see the signal. We see the man behind the curtain holding a toddler's hand, shouting about communism while the house burns. That's the show. We're on Spotify and YouTube. If this earned it, like, subscribe, tell a friend. And housekeeping, the machine that writes this gets tuned constantly for cleaner news. The numbers are real, the jokes are not.